What is up, guys? So this video was inspired by a discussion I had with someone on my Discord page. And the discussion was this: this person talking is an atheist, and I have just started becoming a Hellenic Polytheist. So someone who is an atheist, where can you begin in prayer if you're not used to praying? And this person was used to prayer only from what they saw on the TV shows and the movies. So if you're coming from atheism all your life to Hellenic Polytheism, where do you begin? What's up, guys? So, to carry on that subject, we're going to talk about where to begin when you're coming from an atheist perspective. So, it's interesting because we're always coming from Christianity, from Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Hinduism, Paganism, Wicca, and we find Hellenic Polytheism. And if you hear any noise in the background or see somebody cutting grass, it's the sound of spring. It's that grass cutting season. So, with that said, I'm not used to getting a request asking from how to pray from someone who has never prayed before. So that was an interesting idea and topic to talk to you about in case you are in that same boat. Maybe you are agnostic or were once spiritual and became atheists, and you're getting back into spirituality, and you're just not used to being able to pray as an adult. Don't know where to begin. So it had me thinking how to describe it. So I thought about this. Break it down to what it is. When we pray, it is just talking to God or the gods. No matter what your spirituality is, when you pray, you're talking to the God. Or again, in our case, it would be the gods. So with that said, it is just talking. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You don't have to do anything spectacular, especially if you're getting it back into the notion of the idea of talking to someone you cannot see. I can imagine that if you have been without spirituality, especially for years, the thought of talking to what seems the air may seem awkward. So just starting by talking and just thinking, the God, goddess, your God, goddess, the gods for life. Just thank them for being. Thank them for the universe. Thank them for having food on the table. Thank them for having a way to see my channel, because it means that somehow you have internet connection and probably a roof over your head. Thank the gods for the little things. And then you can study and get more in depth. Because when we come into Hellenic Polytheism, we are in the same boat. No matter if you're an atheist or coming from another religion, we're all in the same boat. Because there's very few people that grew up as a Hellenic Polytheist. Sadly, to me, that we are at the age where that is a possibility, where you could have been raised as a Hellenic Polytheist, since it started like in the late 90s when the beginnings of it. It's 70s technically, so anywhere from the 70s, if you got exposed to it, your family did, that we could have people that have grown up Hellenic Polytheists, or with that idea. I know I didn't. It makes me sad to realize that I graduated, and when I graduated high school, from the time I graduated high school, those people are in their 20s now. That's crazy. It makes me feel old. It makes me feel old, as you know. But back on the topic at hand, when we come into Hellenic Polytheism, if you have not been raised a Hellenic Polytheist, it is awkward to pray to the gods, no matter where you're coming from. Because these are gods that we've only been taught is mythology, that they're not real. You know, we grow up and go to school and hear about them in high school. We watch the TV shows. Kids in the 90s, we would watch Hercules and Xena. We would watch Disney's Hercules. We would watch all the movies from the classic 60s and 70s and love them. But now, somewhere along our life, we've connected and discovered that these gods are still real, that they were just buried underneath what the victors have told us, basically, you know, that the gods are not real and so forth. Again, it goes back generations in the past of just being told that over and over again from the victors of who was the mainstream religion of the time. And generation after generation, you're told what's real and what's not real. And if you just blindly accept that, then that is what you believe. And you're not told otherwise until you start looking into history a little more and you start digging a little more and reading for yourself, and you find out things and how they occurred. May not be the way you were told they happen. Anyway, back to topic again, is that it's all that just to say that we come into Hellenic Polytheism, 9 out of 10 of us, feeling a little awkward when it comes to praying to something other than what we used to believe, you know, praying to air. Do you hear me? Man, I'm trying not to go into musical mode about Papa, do you hear me, you know? What was that, Fiddler on the Roof, maybe? Or Yentl? I don't know. I just know the song. But, yeah, we come into this spirituality and feeling awkward, and that's normal. And that's how I started. I would just have a candle and incense, and I'd pray. And when you start getting the connection, and the more you do it, the moral of life, the secret of life is this: the more you do something, the easier it gets, no matter what you do. It's anything you dedicate yourself to. If not that it calls you, but if you feel interest, and you have a deep interest in it, and you don't lose interest, that's the key. Is that if you do not lose focus, and it has something that has your attention, you get better at it. Whether it's your job, your hobby, anything, you get better the more you do it. Practice, practice, practice. And spirituality and prayer can be that way too. And when you start getting more comfortable with it, that's when you really start connecting, because you'll start forgetting about yourself, and you'll be like, thank you for life. Thank you for this or that. Thank you for breath. Thank you for food today that someone else doesn't have, you know? And so you start with the little things, and then you work your way up to getting, if you want to, statues and candles and all this. But it doesn't have to be that way, especially at the beginning. So I just want to let you know that as an atheist, if you've come into any spirituality, it's awkward for all of us when we first begin, and it gets easier as you go along. So that's the moral of this video. It's an interesting topic, because it's one that I had not really thought about, because I'm so used to all of us converting from another spirituality, and I never thought about converting from no spirituality. Anyway, guys, I hope you found this informative, and what do you guys think? I'll talk to you later. Bye.